Hello everyone, in this video I'll show you how to transform any standard DC motor into high performance servo. This servo will support standard PWM signals like the commercial servos do and supports a dedicated web UI for wireless control and an analog input for those who prefer simple potentiometer. Starting with motor drivers, you can use almost any motor driver such as L298N, TB6612 or DRV883. Any motor driver that have an H-bridge will work. In fact, almost all modern motor drivers have 2 H-bridge on them. I'll be using L298N for this project because it's very cheap and easy to find. For a feedback loop, we will be using ASY600 magnetic sensor. It's affordable, has high precision, and it is 12-bit non-contact magnetic sensor. As for a motor, we can use any DC motor. I'll be using a large RS775 DC motor, but you can use smaller or larger one depending upon how much torque you need. When you buy AS5600, it comes with a small magnet. Take the magnet and place it on the back side of the rotor. Try to place it exactly in the center of the rotor shaft. I have 3D printed a holder for AS5600, which you can download via the link in description. If you don't have 3D printer, you can use cardboard and glue to make the holder. Just make sure the magnet is on the rotor and the sensor is not touching, but not too far apart. Once the sensor is placed, you need to wire it to your microcontroller. I'll be using ESP32S3, but if you have standard ESP32 or other variant, you should search Google for its default I2C pinout. For standard ESP32, it's 21 for SDA and 22 for SCL. For ESP32S3, pin number 8 is SDA and pin number 9 for SCL. I'll be updating the code for changeable I2C, but for now this is how I made it. Now for the motor driver wiring, you need to connect the in1 and in2 to GPIO 1 and 2. You can change the GPIO to any other in the code, but for standard ESP32, I recommend to use 25 and 26. Don't forget to connect the ESP32 ground to the negative terminal of the battery or the ground of the motor driver to ensure they share common ground. After wiring up, download and upload the code to your ESP32. Once it's running, you will see a Wi-Fi hotspot. Connect to it and go to the website. If you power up the motor driver and you notice the motor is rotating continuously or it is starting to spin uncontrollably when you touch the rotor, it's likely due to the wiring between the rotor and the driver. To fix it, swap the two motor wires or swap the in1 and in2 connection in your wiring. After you ensure the servo is holding position rather than rotating, you can go to the website, and the first one is the gear ratio. If you are having it up of gear, you can change it in here. And the second one is the maximum angle, and the middle one is the PID tuning. The first one is the P value, and the middle one is the I value and the D value. If you want to know how to calibrate the PID, you should start with the P value first. P is like the throttle. If the P is too high, it will overshoot and oscillate. P value is low, it will eventually reach, but it is going to be slow. Now, the second value you need to calibrate is D value. Now, the D value is like the brake. And if the throttle is oscillating, let's say if you give the P value and the throttle is P value, so it's going high, it's oscillating. If you increase the D value, it starts to break the P value, so it's actually braking like the car does, so it will brake. Now the problem is P and D will do the job, but it will not give you that accurate value. So we set it at the tolerance of 1, so we need 30 degree, it will reach at 25 or 24, it will reach somewhere right there. Now we need to get 30, so the I value can be used. So increase the I value bit by bit, and you will see the I value is like the guy who is looking outside and telling the car driver go forward or backward. Now if the I value is too high, it will oscillate, but the oscillation is going to be smaller than the P, so it's going to be a smaller oscillation than the P one. So P is going to have huge oscillation if it's high, and the I oscillation is going to be smaller one. That's why I said go with P, then D, then I value. Now if the I value is right, it will just automatically correct to the 30 degrees. So if the P and D does the job to 25, then the 5 degree is going to be corrected by the I value. After that, you will see the tolerance. In here you can change the tolerance to 0.5 or any value you like. If you kept the tolerance very low, the PID value has to be correctly calibrated too. After that, you can save the PID values and tolerances. You see the set 0, that's for setting home position. It will make the current position as a home position. And in the bottom you see the degree, that's for the if you type 30 degree and click web move, the servo will move 30 degree. By default, the motor will be holding position, as you can see. You can also change the angle on the website. So if you type 30 degree, it will go 30. You can type 180 and it will go 180. You can type 0 to go home. As you can see, the motor does not have enough torque. To increase the torque, you can use gears. Now this is one of the gears that I have. If you have any type of gears, so let's say if I'm having a gear ratio of 1:50, so the motor will rotate 50 times to get the output of one rotation. So to do the calculation, you need to do is 1 divided by 50, and you will get 0.02. You can type the value on the gear ratio. You can see the gearing and limit ratio. If you type the correct value, I have written a 0.04, that is 1 to 2.5. But if you are having gear of 50, 1 to 50, then you need to type 0.02. Now if you want to make this servo like the commercial servo, those who have the limit. Now for this servo, it does not have any limit. You can because it's a non-contact sensor, it can rotate how much ever it wants. Now but commercial servos are limited to 45, 90, 180 or 360 degree. If you want to make this servo 360 degree, you have to change the max, that's the limit, to 360 degree, and change the web dashboard, which is the currently we are using to move the servo, to PWM. The PWM is the signal used by the standard controllers, and if you're having fly sky controllers, you can directly connect to that. If you're having a Betaflight flight controller, you can connect to that. Now if you're having potentiometer to control the servo, you can use the analog input, which will make the controller, the ESP32, will see the voltage difference and move the servo according to it. There is no limit because we are having non-contact sensor. As I said, we have ability to can make this servo as 90 degree, 45 degree, or 300 degree, or 1000 degree. It does not matter, it will work. So if you're having PWM, you have to connect pin number 4, which is this one. You can change this pin to any pin, but I've defaulted to 4. You can control the servo. If you're having some problem while making this, you can comment on this video. And if you're having any suggestion or update to the code, use the comment. And thank you for the 992 subscribers, and consider to subscribe those who haven't subscribed, and give a like. And thank you for watching.